Hi, I'm Camila Domingues, and I'm with winnerscoming.net. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You doing good today? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I lost you
Yeah.
for a
I'm doing
second.
great. I'm doing great. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me about those about to die. So let's start with Gabriella first. What drew you to the role of Antonia, and how did you prepare for the part?
Well, the role, it was, when I read the script, it was very clear to me, which is not that obvious because many times you read a script, you're like, yeah, it's nice, but it's not an instant like, wow. So I said, like, this is going to be my role. I mean, no matter what it takes, I'm going to get this one because it's a role that is super fun to play because it portrays a woman that is capable of anything. So the role is wild. It's cruel. It's manipulative, sensual, childish, vulnerable. Wicked. Has all these kind of elements that when you can play with all this and building like a role, making choices that are kind of original or unpredictable, or you just make a choice and it works because she's such a like an explosive character, like a volcano. Also, what really struck me was she's a woman in a man's world and having to deal with misogyny at that time, like when women were not even able to sit in the Senate to have a say. So really to kind of do a role and give voice to this role that was actually behind all those men, but controlling their minds, pulling strings and being kind of the political mind and diplomatic mind. It was such an amazing role, especially for that time when women were not allowed to do all this. And the way I prepared, to be quick, is I read a few books about the big women in the past, like Messalina, Poppea, Agrippina Minore, Livia Drusilla, that was Ottaviano's wife. So Rome history has been really full of amazing women's figure. Antonia is not a character that really existed, but it's like a concentrate of a lot of elements that great women in the past and controversial they really had. So for me, it was like a puzzle together, a lot of elements along with Roland directing and my own instinct.
That's awesome. That's amazing. That makes a lot of sense based on how you play her. It's great. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And Dimitri, so playing Scorpius and just playing a gladiator series, it must be just physically demanding. How did you prepare for your role? Did you train in any sort of way for your role and just for the series as a whole?
Yeah. There were sort of different types of training. The most important one, I guess, was the horse and chariot training, where we had to learn to do, all the stuff with the horses and obviously look like we were good at it. And so that was quite tough. I'm not someone that spent a lot of time around horses, so initially for me it was like quite terrifying going and just spending time with them because they're huge and
Yeah,
uh and they're sort of quite unpredictable things. They're like giant dogs in a way. They're quite
yeah.
mischievous. So like there was that element of it, and then that got sort of upgraded to like getting us on the chariots and going around with four horses that were sort of
Uh-huh.
pulling us on what's basically a little skateboard. And so that was, an amazing experience, a lot of fun, but challenging, and you're sort of aware in the back of your head, you're like, I have to get good quick. There's not time to sort of, be sort of ushered gently into this. You kind of go, we've got a limited amount of time.
Right.
And then the other side of it was, Roland wanted Scorpus to be very much sort of quite athletic and was sort of encouraging me to go and get into shape, basically, which is hard in Italy with all the good food, to get
Right?
distracted
Not
by
fair.
red wine and pasta and pizza every night. So yeah, those were the two kind of physical training elements that I undertook for the role.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for your answer, for your time, both of you. Wonderful
Thank
job
you.
with the series.
Thank
I
you,
can't wait to
Camila.
see
Bye.
everyone's reaction. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.